Why would anybody jump out of a perfectly good airplane? Hey, I am Chuck, the bureaucrat, and recently I did a video where I described the real value that we get from West Point. In fact, if you watch a lot of my videos, you know that I often get on a tear about how some aspect of military life isn't exactly what it seems like. But in the wake of that West Point video, somebody asked me, what's Airborne School for? I mean, it is not like the Army is going to be doing major airborne operations anytime soon, and yet we pay something like 41,000 people to stay on jump status. And that costs the American taxpayer $75 million a year as of 2024. That is a lot of money, not even counting the operational costs necessary to perform all the jumps that a person has to do to stay qualified for parachute pay. And that's just counting the soldiers who actually get put on jump status. It does not count the 5 jump chumps like me who go to airborne and then literally never see another parachute in their military career. Why on earth would so much American taxpayer money go to an activity like this when so many other training events, even just air assault training, is so much more operationally relevant? Well, as a young major, I worked in this brigade headquarters with this grumpy old master sergeant. And he said something about Airborne School that I will never forget. He said, I prefer a unit supply specialist who has been to Airborne School because then I know that at some point the sergeant looked him in the eye and said, if you do not follow my directions, you will die. And as weird as it might seem, that old master sergeant is right in a couple of different ways. Ever since he pointed it out, I've noticed that all things being equal, the soldier with the airborne badge is far more likely to follow instructions in a situation where he's unfamiliar with what's going on. The other point that the master sergeant had is that airborne carries the distinct possibility of death. It is not a simulation. Death is waiting for them just outside that aircraft door. Not only is it real, but it's the kind of death that the most primitive parts of our brain recognize as, I don't want to fall to my death. So every single time a soldier makes a jump, they have to master their basic human fears. A training event can have all the blank ammunition and artillery simulators you want, but it is in the jump where danger is real and present. But here's the crazy thing about Airborne School. People want to go. A strong case can be made that Airborne School was the bait that they used to lure me into ROTC. Airborne is a carrot used all over the Army to encourage hard work and competitive spirit. You're just never going to get that kind of behavior from a petroleum handling course. Young men and women fight every day to test themselves against a uniquely military experience. So yeah, we're probably never gonna fill the skies with C-130s raining death from above. But the US military is ready to send tens of thousands of soldiers who have the courage and the professionalism to face Airborne School, to send them to your doorway. And now, if you want to see why the Warrior's Creed is important in everything you do, even when you're not in combat, watch this video.